Hey guys! Who is it other than Vanessa? I'm gonna lower this. I have the music started first because last week we couldn't get the music on, so we're being proactive now, and now the music is on. So we have finished the primary chakras, but we're gonna discuss some of our successes. And is that Jeannie Beanie? Hey Jeannie Beanie. Let me put you in gallery view. That's better. See what's going on. Hi Danielle. See what you think you need to do more of. So I do need a little bit of community. Jeannie, you look like just a giant sweatshirt. Is it a blanket or it's a sweatshirt? And now I see it. It did not look like that before. That was awesome.
It's so old. Oh my god, I found this like forever ago.
Is that Pennsylvania Ballet? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Okay. So let's get started just with my little peanut gallery over here. Kristen, just very quickly, what do you think was your most difficult chakra to access and to handle? And now Jeannie, you could think about that too. Hey Greg.
On a
Hey, kid.
dare, I guess I would have to say, for me, it typically is orange and red, and I was struggling with that a little bit this week. But mostly, I would have to say that this week in particular, it was more crown.
Interesting.
Yeah, this particular week was crown.
I have a theory of why. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. Jeannie.
You always do.
I always have an opinion. Or some friendly input. Jeannie, you have any idea of which is your most difficult? Currently, this always changes, but we tend to have easier times in some of them.
Oh, I lied. It was yellow. Why did I say that?
I thought so, but I wasn't going to correct you.
I was surprised myself. Like, wait, it's yellow.
It's like it's the yellow. That's why you got the pajamas, remember?
Don't mind me.
Okay, Jeannie Beans.
Sorry, Jeannie. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No worries, it's okay. I'm blue all day long.
All day
yeah,
long.
It's like my favorite color to wear. I love it, but it is my most difficult chakra.
All right. And so, and you own that. You know that that's like a pretty consistent area. Absolutely. Carrie, we're discussing which seems for currently be our most difficult chakra to go through. Now that we've completed all 7 of them, do you have one that rings out for you?
It's the first one.
The base chakra, okay. The first one. You know, me personally, I don't know if I have one. And I always tend to think that I'm so good in the throat chakra area, but I have to tell you, after like doing some of the practice for the throat chakra in the past couple of weeks, I'm like, maybe I'm not so good with it. You know, I don't know. So it's interesting going to actually like go through the study of it. I haven't ever really focused on it other than little exercises at a time, and now I'm doing more homework than even you guys are doing, and it's really crazy, very intense, and I have definite days which I know are absolutely pandemic related, you know, all the school stuff that's going on, all these external stressors, but like yesterday, I will be completely forthright, I was insanely depressed. So this big wavering, I'm just not used to that. So that's new, and I hope it goes away, but it's really not comfortable at all, because it just feels like, wow, all right, is this a personality thing? No, this is an energy thing, but why is it staying so long? I'm not used to that. So that's new and fun, and it should go away. Jordan's saying, I don't know. So then what else? Let's see. How about you guys on Facebook? Do you have anything with the chakras that you can think of that were harder to go through in these weeks? I definitely think another surprise for me was actually like one of the lower chakras, really, like solar plexus area. Just started to feel like my belly wasn't feeling right, and my control stuff was coming up. I don't know, interesting stuff. Hey, Jor. So waiting for Facebook people to maybe say something, but if not, that's okay. Jordan, we're going through the chakra stuff. Anything that you found out during these few weeks that was harder for you? Any of the chakras? Or you were not really?
I didn't do the homework.
You didn't do the homework. He's telling everybody live.
Not a painter.
So you can color with crayons. That's okay. But do you remember what we spoke about? If any one of them seems truer for you, that it's more difficult?
No, I felt, I mean, I thought about them when I was doing the meditation, and for some reason, I want to say yellow comes to mind. I don't know why, but...
2 for the yellow.
Team Yo-Yo.
Team Yo-Yo. All right, so that's interesting stuff. So sometimes you'll see that with the 7 primary, you'll either go way away from it, like Kristen used to hate yellow, like did not like yellow, or like Jeannie, where she gravitates towards it, knowing that that's her painful spot, and that tells you a little bit about yourself. So take notice of if you're gonna willingly drive into that pain, or if you're really like, no, I don't really want to touch it with the 10-foot pole, but I guess you're making me, I'll do it fine. Chris is like, yeah, that's me. Danielle said solar plexus and root. So like, it sounds like your lower chakras. Okay. So think about this way. If you kind of summarize the way the 3 primary lower, right? So we have red, orange, yellow. They're associated with the grounding the human body, right? And our humanity in that sense. And they're the basic areas, your primal chakras, so to speak. And then the heart is the center. That's the communing point for lower and upper. And then when you get to the, upper, and the heart's included in this too, in a sense, it's your more divine chakras. So it's very, very different. This is primarily where the ego can become more of a challenge in different ways. But over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about ego and what that actually means and how it can affect us in our daily lives and working through the chakra stuff. But it is big and present, and it does challenge us more than you think. And ego is not necessarily what you think it is. So that's going to be something fun to kind of go through. But you'll see how that can really affect how we move through things. So if you're having more difficulty with the lower stuff, this is, in my thoughts, a lot more basic childhood stuff. The way you grow up, the way you're nurtured, and also the way you perceive your nurturing too. Remember, like, there are no parents that are perfect, but our perception of everything has a lot to do with it as well. And of course there could be traumas and things like that that were not really either worked on, or the healing is just, well, remember, you're never done with healing. It's just layers, but the layers need to be approached again. So never really done with it. And that's the bad news, but the good news is that you tend to get better at it each time you face it. So now that you're recognizing what's going on and what's difficult for you in those chakras, you can actually start to really work on them, and your healing will go faster and faster, and you'll be able to use it to help other people as well, which is always my main goal as well, right? So, and then in the upper ones, this is where if you release your ego, and we'll go over this again, I promise, there's a trust that happens, and that trust that happens is to believe for real, without being proven, that the divine knows better than you do. And how many times does that happen? So the divine knows better than you do. And I think most of us tend to believe that we know the best, like we know what's good for us, like we know, and like we really try to force it. And the truth is that this is like one of the best examples going on in 2020, where everyone's faced with so much of the similar things. All the similarities are here, and we're really faced with it, and you can't get away from it. And but there's a beauty in that, unfortunately, fortunately, but there's a beauty in that, because now we have to really figure out what we're made of and how we can utilize each other. So, but in the end, divine knows best. All about trust. So if you find yourself fighting against the grain right now, raise your hand, even if I can't see you. Are you fighting against the grain? Are you trying to make things work and push through, and I'm going to get there, and no matter what, I'm going to get there, and this doesn't feel good in my life, and I'm just going to push through. And if you find yourself getting like forced backwards quite a bit, that's because that's not what the divine thinks you're supposed to do, honey. So I'm not saying to give up, I'm saying to redirect. So you have to find these challenges and go for it, right? But really go for it, but be creative about it. And divine will always give you the response that's necessary. So for example, like, you know, I've said this before, I can't do my workshops right now, blah, blah, blah. I have all these impediments, like all these things that I really can't do the way I used to do them. And damn right, that's frustrating and sad and horrible in so many ways, but it's also forced me to do, not forced, it's driven me to do things like, Carrie's laughing at me, global meditation on Sunday nights to help a bigger community. It's driven me to start writing books. It's driven me to start painting and doing things that I kept putting on the list. It was always on the list. And now here we are, and I'm forced to be creative in a sense that this is the time, this is the present moment for things to evolve. So still going to grieve other things because I'm human. I'm still going to, you know, talk about it because that's part of my authenticity. But I'm absolutely always going to say, I know this is going to pass. I know that, you know, divine knows what's best. What am I painting, Craig? I'm painting my homework, so you better read up on the site. Painting chakra stuff all the time. And what's really, really good about that is that, you know, we always say like there's light and there's shadow, and the lightness of stuff is what we love. It's what we love. And the shadow of stuff is actually what drives that light. So if we don't have shadow, you can't have light, right? That's just part of yin and yang. It's always there. They have to be there to coexist, because otherwise you're never going to know how great you have it if there's nothing, you know, not so great happening, unfortunately. Again, with that, I always say you can always ask for some smoothness. You can always ask to go through it more quickly with more grace, and you can always listen and learn more. And the faster you learn your lessons and know what to do with that energy, the faster things change. So that's part of everything you've been feeling and everything you've been dealing with, and starting to dive into the chakras. I'm very, very happy for you guys. We don't need to hear my meditation right now. Quiet. Okay. I'll just shut it all off. So if you've been doing the homework, was there any chakra that was super easy for you, in the sense of not only really, really satisfying to color, but you were drawn to wear the colors? Jeannie said she was really still drawn to wear the blues, which is great. But something that felt really, really easy for you, really natural, and you understood it right away. Even the concept of it. I'll speak first. I would kind of say that, I don't know, I tend to go for the blues too, so even though my throat tends to be, I notice more difficulties with it, I think that's also felt really good at the same time. So, how about you guys?
Blue and green.
Blue and green. So you start with the spiritual chakras.
Blue and green were easy for me.
Yeah, and I think when we say easy, it's also interesting because you'll find some familiarity in it. Like you know more about them because you tend to live in them more easily. Like you're super, you know, you're an emotional person. Like you really wear your emotions on your sleeve. So for you, that's a language you're really, really familiar with. So it's interesting, right?
And they're two of my three favorite colors.
Right.
I wear them all the time.
Right.
I mean, my house is decorated in blue and green.
Right. Which, if you want to comfortably bring in a chakra that you're not such a fan of, like your yellow, the perfect time to do that is actually when you're wearing blue and green. So you take some of your comfort and you just add a splash of yellow with intention. As she literally put her foot into the camera as I said that. She's like, no. Are those have yellow on it?
They're blue and gold pants.
All I saw was a foot. It's good.
Well, I'm not that coordinated right now.
I don't know.
That's
It's good. She hurt herself. It's all good.
But they're blue and gold. They're blue and gold pants.
Blue and gold pants. Perfect. Perfect. So if you haven't, I really, really urge you to use the seed sounds, which are the little yam, ram, all that stuff. Those on your own in meditation, I think people forget about that they're actually a tool. But anybody that's had treatments with me can pretty much attest to how quick it changes everything internally, like really, really fast. And even if you might not be used to the feeling, but it absolutely changes the vibration in your body and around you. So that's going to be part of the homework this week, is to go over the seed sounds, even if you don't remember them in order. We'll write them down again, and to just start putting that into your daily life. And it doesn't have to be a formal meditation where you're sitting and just saying it over and over again, although I do invite you to do that because you're going to see that it's quite different. But you can even do it while you're cooking. You can do it while you're on the phone holding. Like, you could put them on mute and just go, you know what, I'm feeling a little nervous. I'm going to say yum, yum, yum 5 times with my breath, and you'll start to see that there's a difference. So we'll start to do that before our meditation tonight as well. Do you love my background or what tonight? Can you guys see it? It is so cool. The Facebookers have it more dead on, but it is definitely one of my favorite tapestries right there. It's wild and cosmic and all that jazz. So review again, seven primary chakras. It's the color of the what? The rainbow. Roy G. Biv. Really, really good. And now I think the rainbow has so many more meanings to it than when we were even, kids or anything like that. Rainbows have always stood for happy things. Now it has a lot to do with sexuality. It has a lot to do with connection. There's just so many different meanings, but it's always meant to be for connection, like absolutely always. So during quarantine, that was what all the kids were doing. We were painting rainbows to show that we were all together. And it's just one of God's gifts. So we have one in ourselves too. How cool is that? Grounding stuff. So when you're working in the upper chakras, hey Steph, you may notice that you, what did I say last week? That you start to feel a little loopy, flighty, a little spacey. Anybody feel that? Yeah, okay. So when you get like that, what do?
Drink water.
Drink water, good. What else can you do?
Go outside.
Go outside, right. Why do you want to go outside?
Be with nature.
Yeah, what does it do?
Ground me.
It grounds you. That's the word we're looking for, right? It grounds you. Take a few deep breaths. Where are you putting all the energy down towards the ground, right? So if you're feeling spacey, flighty, loopy, all those fun words, what's happening is you're super open over here and you're getting a lot of information up here, and the energy still needs to go down so that you can be balanced. We don't want to be out of sync because we're, we still have to live here and still have to write and still have to talk, things like that, and function. Although sometimes space cadetti is fun and you can stay like that by yourself for a little while, right? That's fun. That's why we don't need drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. Just meditate. I'm going to make a commercial like that. What's up, Kristen?
I guess I gotta give those back.
Give those back. Put those away. Hide it.
Darn.
Darn.
Don't trick somebody for something else.
No, yeah, I mean, just be like, come meditate with us. Woo. It's all good. So the other reason you want to do the grounding is because you need to transmute. So I'm gonna have to write this down too, because we're gonna go into transmutation for a long. Danielle's laughing at my drug stuff. That's right, Danielle. If I did drugs, you don't know what would happen. It'd be very, very bad. Or really funny. It'd be really funny too.
I vote for funny.
It would be funny. It's true. So transmutation is another topic we're going to go through, because part of when you're gathering all this energy, the energy needs to change. So we have to discuss this too. So if I don't discuss ego and transmutation, then you guys have to yell at me. And I give you permission. Okay. So that means at the end of the day, now that we're like in more social circles generally, right? Most people are going out a little bit, maybe seeing some friends. you know, you're probably more sensitive than you've been in a long, long time. Anybody feel this? Like, we're going out around people again, and it starts to feel a little, a little over, I'm getting a little anxious, not to mention that you haven't been around people, and now you're doing this weird space thing where you're not sure where to stand and all this other stuff. Like, Jeannie, you've been working the whole time, but have you been around, well, you went around family and stuff like that too. How was that for you? Jeannie Beans.
Sorry. It was okay. Family is fine. I just can't, like, I can't do the restaurant thing, like, indoors. It freaks me out still.
Right.
So, like, there's definitely some boundaries, even though I've been working the whole time, you know.
Right, because these are strangers.
I don't want to do certain things.
Yeah. So I feel like anybody who can deem themselves pretty sensitive, which is basically everybody with me tonight, you're going to see, like, be aware, like, going out. Yes, partially it's because we're not used to it anymore. We're not used to being around strangers like that. It feels so much more intimate than it did, which is so crazy. But even before all this, you're probably that person that would feel other stuff too. And maybe you realized it and maybe you didn't, where you would feel like, oh, headaches, or you feel like people's, their anxiety or their quickness and stuff like that. You're just sensitive to it. So now it's going to be even more of that. So give yourself a lot of space and a lot of grace with it, and understand that it will change over time. You know, when you finish with the situation, I really think you need to go home and try to have a few minutes really alone, shut off the devices. If you can't be out in nature, then just start doing some breathing, but be very, very aware of it, because it's just going to be different, stranger than it was before, for sure. Where was I? I found myself, I went to the grocery store for the first time since like April. And I was fine. Because it really wasn't anybody there until the line had like self-checkout, and everybody's pretty much minding their own space, but it was just a strange feeling to be around strangers again. And I was like, oh, this is weird. Nobody touch me. So, and then I could feel other people's stuff too. I was like, oh, you think this is weird too. You're not comfortable either. Okay. I was like, okay, we're all in it together feeling weird. No problem. One of my clients said, we're like, yeah, it's like communal PTSD. We're all going to have communal PTSD, and at least we'll know that we're in it together. So that's what's happening. So we're going to start winding down for our meditation tonight. So wherever you are, start to lower the lights, get a sip of water first, and I'm going to do the same. At least I know the music's working. Okay. So if you haven't muted yourself yet on Zoom, please do so. Great. If this suddenly doesn't work again, I'm going to call Bill, because it was working before. Oh no, we got it. Okay.
Welcome to the meditation.
No, it's the wrong one,
healing.
peoples.
To begin, sit or...
Okay. Let's see if it does it again.
Welcome to the meditation for global healing.
Somebody's stubborn tonight. Okay. So becoming aware of your breath, as always. Taking note of every sensation in your body that's going up and down your spine. Noticing even how your fingertips feel. How do your toes feel? Are they cold? Are they dry? We tend to have different sensations in every part of our body, every part. So as you take your deep inhalation all the way up into the chest by the heart area, take the tip of your tongue and make a circle to the tip, the roof of your mouth, like that, little circle. Inhale there, and on your exhale, release through the mouth. Again, inhaling, tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Keep going. Inhale, tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And do that about 3 more times. As you're doing this, you're going to notice how your chest actually expands outward, goes from side to side, because your deep breaths here are way deeper than they normally are during the day. One more time together. Good, and you keep going with that, or you can just choose simple breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Whatever is feeling good for you. And how many times throughout the day do you actually ask that simple question? What is feeling good for me right now? What would feel good for me? So many times we're pressed to do things. We feel pressured to do things, obliged to do things. And we tend to forget to check in. And that simple question, what would feel good for me? So the answer can be so many different things, and it could be as simple as, you know what, I need to go drink some cool water. Or I need to just sit without anything for 3 minutes, which sounds like nothing. 3 minutes sounds like nothing. But anybody in my women's circle could tell you that when we do our 4 minutes of talking about highs and lows or anything like that, sharing-wise, the 4 minutes can feel like forever. So much can happen in that time. So if you're just taking a couple minutes to breathe or to focus on something, one thing at a time, it can transform everything. And what could feel good for me right now could also be, I need to do this phone call so that I can feel complete. I need to write something. I need to take a walk. And in your entire day, one of the main goals should really be fulfilling your categories. And your categories can sound something like this, and they can always have more than this too. So physical, something physical. Walking, yoga, running, biking, whatever it is. Mental could be something like reading a book or studying something. Even if it's just a little, it's exploring something. Next category could be something for work that's not on the work list, but something that you know needs to get done soon so you can feel good and accomplished. We don't just do things to do them. We have to do them for a reason. And the reason needs to be for us to feel good about it in some way. I'll feel better when that's done, right? What else are we missing? Nourishment. You could put that with physical, but it's not the same. Nourishment, you have to do that every day. Otherwise, you're going to starve, right? So unless you're purposely fasting and you have it planned out, you still need to hydrate and you still need to get your good foods in. So a focus to that. Now there's so many more, right? There could be emotional, where you either journal or talk. Therapy is one of them. Speaking to a therapist, going. And I'm probably missing a couple of big ones too. So if you can think about that, those are your main categories, and we can always fill them in more. And And the reason I speak about those categories during this meditation is because when we talk about the 7 primary chakras, each chakra is like that category. You know, they have their main reasons for being an energy vortex. They have their main reasons. And for example, if you start with the root, focusing on the color red, that sense of being grounded and secure is all based on survival, primarily, right? So it has its reasons, it has its way of being. And to feed the root chakra, we focus on how to make that chakra feel really complete and really safe and really secure so that we can move on and we can feel great. Because if the 3 lower chakras are not doing so hot, you're going to be living in fear. That will be your primary source. So we have to feed each category. So take a deep breath in here, and you start to loosen the jaw. We'll start to loosen the lips and the tongue, and we'll start with LAM, L-A-M. So on your next inhalation, C-L-A-M, and exhale through the mouth, LAM. When you do it again, you can add some sound. It doesn't have to sound nice. It doesn't have to be in tune with my music. It just is whatever feels good. Remember, whatever feels good. So do LAM again. Great. And now that we've started to focus on the root chakra, I think we should get up in this meditation. You're not moving your body, you're moving your energetic being, okay? So as always, we're starting with the basics. And you know I love my fields, I love my open spaces. So for tonight, we're gonna go right into that green field that I tend to go to a lot. I love that field. And I want you to focus on what you see first. What do you see first? Do you see trees? Do you see flowers? Do you see animals? Or do you just see openness? So this place is like your canvas, and it's your exploration. It's your place to go and move around and just be. And what's your instinct? As soon as you go into an open space, what is your instinct? See what happens in your mind's eye when you tell it. You can move however you want. That includes flying. There are no bounds here, remember? So whatever you're doing, keep focusing on LAM, L-A-M. And I want you to notice now that the sky that's around you has calmed down into a beautiful reddish sunset. It's very, very soft. There's some pink in it as well. The clouds are there, but they're floating by. Now, quickly in that sky, you're going to see some orange. It goes right into the red. It's very, very soft and very, very strong. And notice now where your body wants to move. So in your mind's eye, do you see yourself doing big things with the body, releasing that base area, releasing down into the belly. And here you inhale and exhale VAM, V-A-M. Notice how the vibration goes deep, deep, deep into the belly. notice how it allows an expansion there, a softness, a roundness, and definitely some heat builds up. So as that energy starts to build, you're going to notice right away that that sky has not given up yet. It's not going to full sunset. And that sun is so strong. It's so strong. It really is this giant ball of fire. And it's showing us all of its beauty. So it goes into this golden yellow, really, really vibrant. And you can feel that warmth and that heat. It's only calming down with a little bit of wind around it, but it's nice and warm. And you're going to feel right away that drawing to open up your shoulders and your arms and release beneath the solar plexus. The break in the ribs will just open wide. Next, exhale, starting to focus on Ram, R-A-M. Take one last really good look at that sunset, seeing the red, orange, and the yellow all together. See how they blend into each other, and see how they support one another. You're going to notice that the colors in the sky, not only do they blend together, but they really make the other one look better, look brighter. They know how to support. And now you'll turn your inner attention to the ground. Noticing that green grass underneath your feet, noticing your toes just softly going and walking and gently pushing down the grass. Allow your feet to be tickled, allow your ankles to get itchy and irritated when the grass is long. Allow all of it to happen. And now you'll take a deep breath here, and you're going to smell like peppermint and eucalyptus. There's a nice big opening. Those are the scents for the heart. And it helps open the chest, exactly where the heart chakra is located. And it's opening, and the shoulders again, they roll back. And see what the body wants to respond with. Your next inhalation will bring the exhale for the seed sound Yam, Y-A-M. And let the Yam really draw the jaw back and down. Allow the tongue to release. And that feeling of the chest fully opening. And here you can let your energetic body just release here. See if you want to do like a cobra type of pose, or if you're just kind of hanging out in the grass and feeling all that greenery around you. Remember, an open heart chakra really feels like the biggest breath of fresh air you've ever taken. Just a nice big wow. It's right in the center. It's the midpoint of the chakras. So continue with that soft breath. And then you're going to very, very slowly bring your attention to the water that's close by, and you're going to walk there first. So walk there through the green grass, heel toe, and I won't tell you what type of water you're going to see, only that it's really blue. Really, really blue. And it's such a beautiful blue that you almost don't want to touch it because it just looks too perfect. So you're going to give it some space before you even disrupt it. And you're going to close your eyes even here. Deep breath in. And exhale, hum, H-A-M. Feeling that breath for the throat chakra. cool, clear, and connected. It's like swallowing cold water, allowing it to nourish all the way down the body. And it releases the base of the neck where we store all that stress. And it just releases it. And you can feel an adjustment happen at the base of your neck, base of the spine too. It goes all the way down. And that water realigns your whole spine. And now you get daring. You want to touch that water so badly. So dip your toes in. Remember, I didn't tell you how deep or anything like the size of the water. You get to just explore and have fun here. But make sure you really, really touch. And it might be the perfect time to allow the water to go over your neck and your head and really just douse yourself in it and enjoy it. One more exhale of hum, H-A-M. You're now going to notice along the edges of the water are these tiny, tiny little purple flowers. They're so, so sweet, and they're really a deep purple, really vibrant. They're actually mixed in with the indigo of the brow or the third eye chakra. So there's really, really deep purples and really, really deep blues. And you're going to touch each and every one with the softest touch that you possibly can, as if you're saying hello. And you get down on the ground and you feel your belly on the earth. Now it might be on the grass or it might be near the banks of the water. Whatever feels good for you. And you're so close to these little flowers that when you take your deep breath in and you exhale Om, your breath is going to go across the flowers. And you're going to give a nice, easy breeze to them. And after every exhalation of Om, there's this pause, there's this silence. And the silence reverberates just as much as the Om itself. And it builds and builds. And now wherever you are, you're going to find yourself laying on that ground and really, really sensing everything around you. Feeling the weight of your human form going into the earth. Feeling how supported it is. You can feel the base of the spine married to the ground. And right at that point where that sacrum and the base of the spine is really, really in touch with the earth, you're going to feel this power and this strength come from this connection. It feels literally as if the earth has its hand on your back and is supporting you. And with this push from the earth, this proverbial like push of its hand into your spine, you're going to see all of the colors come out from your body. So we have this gorgeous rainbow coming from the root chakra, and you get to see however it comes out. It's just coming out of you, pouring and pouring, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, all coming out of you, just as the earth pushes into you. And with this burst of energy and light, how does your body feel? How does your spirit feel? How do your senses feel? You have to know what it feels like to have this freedom of finding this type of power, of connecting with it whenever you want. And you have to do it more often than not. So it's here all the time. Not one person has it and one person does it. We all have it. And the more you connect with these vortices that are literally in your body, the more power, the more strength. But even more than that, the more love and trust and compassion you'll be able to lend. And you'll feel entirely more just like you, yourself, in your unique way. So keeping the image of this amazing rainbow, however it's shining out of you. And over the next few breaths, reconnecting fully into your human form. And in this way, you can see all of the light coming into one, into white. And you can see yourself actually controlling it to kind of brush it back into your aura. And then just take like 3 more deep breaths here. And we started to speak a little bit about the ego. This is the perfect time to really feel egoless, noticing how there's nothing in your way. There's nobody competing, not internally or externally. It's just you and this world. And the beautiful path that you're working on. So every day, every moment, you always have the choice to continue, the choice to breathe. Doesn't feel like you do, but you do. The choice to love, including loving yourself. And to continue to choose faith and trust. And so wherever you are in this type of journey, I'm proud of you. And I hope you can feel proud too. That's not ego, that's just understanding that you're working. And you are working. So thank yourself. And as always, it's a pleasure to serve. I will see you next week. But in the meanwhile, I'll write the homeworks down. And yeah, one of the homeworks will be for the art. The art this week will be a culmination of all of the 7 primary chakras. So it will be basically rainbow themed. Yay! And then I would invite you to write a little bit of each chakra in there somewhere, even just words. So if you look at my homeworks, what I do, you can magnify it and see that I actually have the chakra words on it. And that helps put it into your memory. And then maybe a little journal on how things are going, how things are feeling as you go into these practices and what's working, okay? So I'll see you soon. As always, I'll start a little communal chat after this on a new video. But everybody, thanks for joining. And as always, a pleasure. So deep breath in with me. And exhale. And namaste.